In 2016, a large coral bleaching event took place in the Great Barrier Reef. By the following year, 51% of live corals present were gone. Coral has a symbiotic relationship with zooxanthellae, which is a microscopic algae. This specific type of algae absorbs waste from the coral to make more useful compounds, and, in return, the algae provides energy and oxygen for the host coral. However, when the temperature increases, the coral expels the zooxanthellae, and so the coral cannot benefit from them anymore. This is what coral bleaching is. Depending on the species of coral, bleaching can have stronger effects on some more than others, such as the species Parcellopora demachoris and Tribonera raniforis, which both inhabit the Great Barrier Reef. For example, Tribonera raniforis has a higher rate of recovery, so it deals with stress from bleaching better than the other. You can tell when bleaching has occurred, as it goes from vibrant and colourful to pale and white. But what is actually causing coral bleaching? Population density plays a large role in climate change due to greenhouse gases being released by ways such as fossil fuel burning, which in turn raises the temperature of the seas and oceans by as much as 2 degrees. Higher temperatures cause zooxanthellae to leave the coral tissues. Holes in the ozone layer also increase solar radiation in the water, which affects anemones and table corals such as Montipora verrucosa. Radiation and elevated UVR can make chlorophyll less concentrated and fluorescent, another cause of the bleaching as the corals cannot produce necessary substances. Reduced salinity is another factor. If the corals are in areas of low salinity, their cells will become hypoosmotic as salt will leave them, destroying the balance and disabling the cell's ability to carry out basic functions. Bacteria such as Vibrio chiriloi attack corals and cause diseases which prevent normal functions and attack cells within the tissues. These can just be present in the waters or get deposited by toxic waste from things such as sewage runoff and other industrial sources. These all affect the cell function of the coral and can spread widely across a whole reef very quickly. So what are the impacts on marine life? Aside from corals dying, coral bleaching most drastically affects life forms that use coral for protection. When corals bleach, the overall diversity of marine organisms, such as red coral crabs and coral-dwelling fish, goes down. The abundance is positively affected because the bleached corals can support generalist organisms far better than specialized organisms, so there will usually be a similar amount of fish after a bleaching event, if not more. Coral reefs also impact humans. Not only do they provide a source of income in forms of fishing and tourism, they also provide a very cost-efficient shoreline protection, being as good, if not better, than artificial coastal structures. So what should we do in order to help reefs thrive? As corals contain a quarter of marine life, a loss of biodiversity would be detrimental to our reefs. The more bleaching events that occur, the harder it is for reefs to recover. Many marine animals depend on the coral for their survival, as corals contain 25% of all marine species. So when coral reefs collapse, they put many species in danger of extinction. Coral reefs are natural barriers that absorb the force of waves and storm surges, which keep coastal communities safe. Without them, we must rely on man-made seawalls that are expensive and less effective. By 2050, 90% of coral reefs are predicted to experience coral bleaching. The recovery of coral reefs is possible if we stop using non-renewable energy like coal and use renewable energy such as wind instead. But this would need to happen today. To help conserve coral, samples of coral can be taken and replanted in order to restore them in places less impacted by human activity. This is being done currently, so there is still hope for our coral reefs.